Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Modi, and we're back with some GPL action. You may be wondering where the GPL was. It's been a little bit in turmoil, so they decided to cut the season short and go right to playoffs. And I just randomly found this out. Like they were like playoffs, we're in it right now. I'm like, what? I was like, what? The season's not over. We still got like 4 more games left. But yeah. So we're starting playoffs, and this is round one. Yeah, we're playing the Soviet Slowkings, coached by Polish the homie. Um, we don't really get to play much in leagues. Like we're in leagues together, but somehow we just don't end up playing each other. So, it is fun to get to play him. He's got a really cool team on his side. He has Heatran, Sableye, Tornadus, Incarnate, Jolteon, Azelf, and then the Mega Gallade. On my side, we got Virgil, the Latios, Choice Scarf, Draco Meteor, Psychic, Thunderbolt, and Surf. Psychic instead of Psyshock because he does have Wheezing. Then we have DBS, the Blue Sea, with the Rindo Berry, with Ice Beam, Full Switch, Heal Bell, and Scald. And then we have the beautiful Crank Anchors, a staple of the Westchester Weavers, with Knockoff, U-Turn, Defog, and Roost. Pretty standard stuff. And then we have Cammy with them thick thighs. Cammy, what up? What up, girl? With Fake Out, Poison Jab, Zen Headbutt, and Drain Punch. Next, we have Bulu Nation. What up, Bulu? With Substitute, Horn, Leech, Wood Hammer, and Superpower. Then we have Toon World. What up, Toon World? Shout out. I've been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! So, Toon World makes me chuckle a little bit. But Toon World has Toxic, Bolt Beam, and Recover. So on his side, he actually does have a Tapu Fini. So I was a tad bit surprised he didn't bring Tapu Fini, but it kind of makes sense why he didn't want to bring Tapu Fini because of Bulu and my potential Scolded he'd bring. But his team was somewhat what I was expecting. I was pretty much expecting this team minus the Azelf for Fini. I get why the Azelf is there. Azelf can be really good Pokemon, but it is frail. But everything else I reasonably expected. Sableye is probably going to be some very heavily defensive set to take on Bulu and Medicham, and with that Prankster Will-O-Wisp. Prankster Will-O-Wisp really hurts my team because I do have some big physical attackers in Medicham, Scolded, and Bulu. Partially the reason why I didn't bring Scolded. Tornadus also a huge problem for my team. My team is very flying weak, and Tornadus just gets a lot of moves. Tornadus gets I'm pretty sure Tornadus gets Knockoff, Dark Pulse, Hurricane. Hurricane is a very tough move to switch into. Gets U-Turn, and it is very fast. I believe it's 111 speed. I want to say 111. It's definitely over 110, and if you're over 110, especially in Draft League, you are fast. But yeah, so Tornadus is going to be a problem. Sableye is going to be a problem. Jolteon, just a fast, kind of hard-hitting mon. Can be kind of annoying. Heatran can be an issue as well. Mega Gallade, very powerful physical attacker. Got to be careful around that. That's why we have Crank Anchors. We can body it a little bit with some of my other mons. And Lantern could potentially take a hit. But depending on what he has, the problem with Gallade too, it has coverage up the wazoo. That's primarily actually why I ran Rindo Berry on Lantern, so I could take one Leaf Blade and maybe get a Scald Burn, something like that. 30% chance, Scald, that's one of the best moves in the game. Yeah, but P2 with Trace can kind of handle Jolteon a little bit, and Lantern is also there to support to take on Jolteon. P2 can also kind of handle the Heatran. Heatran can be a little annoying, especially given my team. Basically, a super power from Bulu or a Drain Punch from Medicham should be able to put significant damage into it. But yeah, so that's like that's the squad. Um, Looking at his team, I think a pretty safe lead is Mandibuzz. I can take any hit he wants to do. And this, so we're gonna go into here. So turn 1 he leads off with the threat. So I have foul play on this. I actually don't have U-turn. I have foul play on Mandibuzz. I misspoke earlier. Foul play specifically for the Gallade and this thing too. Even if he doesn't have any attack investment, it's still really gonna hurt because Tornadus does have a naturally high attack stat. So I decided to click foul play right here. He goes for the U-turn just to kind of scout what he has. He reveals that he's Life Orb. I foul play right here, and that does a lot. That does like 20. That does like 27%, which is pretty clean. He does not reveal leftovers, so we are just doing clean damage to him. He gets off the toxic. That's kind of fine. I have heal bell in the back, and what this actually allows me to do is at 27%, this ensure well. Not, I don't want to say ensures, but this really puts this. I think this almost, I'm almost positive this puts him in Draco range, just given the context of his set. So I think even a max bulky, max def Heatran, I think still takes like 30 from a Choice Scarf Draco Meteor. And if you look at his team, not really much wants to take a Draco. Tornadus definitely doesn't want to take a Draco. Jolteon definitely doesn't want to take a Draco. Sableye, if it's Fizz Depth, cannot take a Draco. Azelf cannot take a Draco. Gallade cannot take a Draco. So his whole team really gets the hurt from Latios. Latios can come in and revenge pretty much anything. Draco Meteor, even Choice Scarf, Timid Draco Meteor is going to do like 75% plus to like his whole team, which is insane. But yeah, so we decided to defog right here. He does not want to lose the Heatran this early. So he uses this on the defog. He uses this opportunity to go into Jolteon. So he goes into Azelf, and I go into Porygon 2. My thought process was that if he was going to Thunderbolt me or Volt Switch on me, we could have traced the Volt Absorb and absorb the Thunderbolt. And Jolteon, especially if it's like, let's say it's like Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and I don't know, whatever, Baton Pass or Signal Beam or HP Poison for the Bulu, like Porygon's bodying that thing. That's all I'm trying to say. So he decides to go into Azelf. I'm kind of debating whether or not to switch or not. I don't want to switch into Lantern because he could potentially have Energy Ball. But I am kind of flirting with the and it's a Zmon user. Don't really want to switch into Mandibuzz because I don't want to get like Twinkle Tackled or like whatever. But I am wary of the knockoff. But so I just decided to kind of toxic here. I could have Shadow Ball and kind of hurt this thing really hard too. So I don't even know if necessarily he wants to switch in, or he wants to stay in, I should say, because Shadow Ball would hurt. But he decides to go for the trick, which is kind of cool. He decided to trick a Choice Scarf onto me. That probably was more so for the Mandibuzz more than anything, Mandibuzz or Lantern. But the Porygon 2, that definitely hinders its ability to be as effective. Porygon 2 still has a lot of natural special defense and defense, so it's not the worst thing in the world. It can still relatively handle a Jolteon, and especially with Volt Absorb, but it reduces my like Hurricane switch-ins with like Tornadus, which is more so the problem. But I toxic that thing, so that's cool. That Psychic does like 34%. I'm already poisoned. I thought he might have switched right here, but he decides to keep that in. It's perfectly fine. We go into Virgil and he Thunderbolts me. Probably predicting the Mandibuzz right there. Perfectly fine too. And then this is where Virgil gets his first KO. So we just decide to Draco right here, and then Virgil has to switch because of the Draco drop. He decides to go into Mega Gallade and Ice Punch right here. Ooh, we resist it. We lose 20% of our health, but we got frozen. And I'm like, fuck, frozen? But it's not the worst thing in the world because we have Scald. So I'm pretty much forced to Scald here, and Scald will unthaw me. Perfectly fine. He knocked off my Rindoberry. If he had Leaf Blade, he probably would have shown it there. So he probably doesn't have Leaf Blade. He's shown Knockoff and Ice Punch. So thinking his last two moves could either be Poison Jab, Shadow Sneak, or maybe a boosting move. so not 100% sure. So I just get the skull, no burn, what a cold baby. We just said, and he shows Drain Punch, so he has shown Drain Punch, Ice Punch, Knockoff. So the last move could either be Shadow Sneak or Poison Jab. That would make the most sense for my team, especially if you watch one of my matches where I got blown back by Shadow Sneak. But he goes to the Drain Punch. I decided to stack Porygon 2 here because his losses of Violet, it's there's a case to be made that it's not as useful. Is what I'm trying to say. So I sack that thing. We go right into Cranking Gears, and then we get in a foul play off. We're getting a foul play off right here. I actually predicted him to overprotect right here and go for the Shadow Ball, so that's why I stayed in. I actually thought he would go for the Single Beam over the Shadow Ball, so he could touch the, so he doesn't get like walled by the Porygon too. But yeah, whatever. So I foul play again, and that does clean 34%. I'm predicting him to go for a Thunderbolt right here, but he decides to just go with that. Life Orb recoil is hurting him. I decided to just go into my fastest thing right here, into Latios. I want this thing dead. I was debating just fake outing with Mega Medicham, but I did not want him to get it free turn into Sableye. So I just go into my fastest thing, my Choice Scarf, Latios. I outspeed this thing. We just drop in a Draco. I mean, why not? I could have locked myself into something else, but I wanted to just punish if he decided to preserve the Jolteon. I wanted to punish whatever came in with a nice Draco Meteor, but he doesn't. So I go right and back into Crank Kickers, and he just Ice Punches me. He gets a crit. I'm like, bruh, calm down. Freeze and a crit. I'm like, what? What is going on with this Gallade? So he goes for the Ice Punch and just kills the Mandibuzz. Perfectly fine. We're getting in our Psychic Fighting type and Cammy. Yo, some Street Fighter matchup right here. So right here, I'm not stupid enough to fake out. If you've watched my DBDL game where I accidentally fake out Mega Champ, thinking that his ability was justified. No, so we just go right for this Zen Headbutt. We went for the Zen Headbutt because in case he wants to switch into Tornadus T or even like Heatran. But the primary reason was just in case he wanted to stay in and try to like Shadow Sneak me or do something along those lines. He was going to have to eat a Zen Headbutt to the head, and that does like 75 to 80%, I believe. It does a very significant amount of damage. And what that allows me to do is when it comes back in, fake out priority, and fake out does like 30-ish. So I could like Zen Headbutt, fake out him, and just kill him. So we decided to go for the Zen Headbutt right here. He actually switches into the Torn T. And then he dies, which is great because Torn T blew and Medicham all the way back. So the burn is totally obvious right here. He just goes for it. And then we can fire off a Draco right here. And he has to sack something. And he's going to sack Heatran because it's already low. Perfectly fine on his part. He goes into this. And then I go into Bulu Nation. He goes for the Ice Punch, and he gets a crit, and it's like 83%. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on with this Gallade? Like, yo, crit. He got a freeze, a crit, and a crit with like his Ice Punches. I'm like, what the fuck? So, this crit actually matters in a sense where if he doesn't get the crit, I am leftovers plus the grassy terrain. So you'll see, watch. So you'll see I got like 12% back. So if he didn't crit me, like that does like a little less than 60, so then I would get like 12% back, and then it turns into like a rolls game pretty much. Like, is he gonna get the roll or is he not? So but the crit basically makes it secures it to a KO. Kind of unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? If I had a turn to attack, I probably would have just wood hammered, just try to hit this thing as hard as possible, and punish any potential Sableye switches. So he goes for the Ice Punch, and just kills it. It's whatever. We're playing stacking games. He goes for the Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak is not a 2 KO. It is 47%, and we go for the Zen Headbutt, and we doing shit ton of damage to this thing. Then we decide to Poison Jab right here because on the Stabilize switch, we get a crit, which is kind of nice, but no poison. but it's all good. We switch into Latios, and he Shadow Claws right here, but we live in because we Latios. So I'm just gonna Draco right here. Very good chance to kill. And I kill the Mega Medicham. So that is another kill for Latios. Latios has 1, 2, 3, 4 kills in this game, with Mega Medicham being the 5th on Tornadoes. Latios is actually putting in work. If you have, or if you, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the channel, but I do have a Latios Virgil Latios Defeated streak. So Latios is really trying to turn this thing around and try to actually get a W for me in league play, at least. I've never won a game with Latios in league play. I haven't had it that much. The sample size isn't that big, but it's just one of those like psychological things. I'm like, Latios, that has always been disappointing me. But yeah, so he goes into Sableye. That's perfectly fine. We're cool with stacking this Mega Medicham. Medicham can't really do much. He gets a crit Shadow Claw. It's whatever. Then it comes down to me connecting the Draco, and I miss the Draco. And he goes for Shadow Claw and kills me. And he wins the game. And he told me after the match that Draco Meteor did a minimum 100%. So we would have won the game if I connected the Draco. But we don't connect the Draco. Very frustrating way to like lose a playoff match on a Draco miss, like a miss. But like, what are you gonna do? Good game, Polish. A lot of fun. It was a very fun game. So that's a Draco miss. Draco miss was just like, oh, bro. But hope he does well in playoffs. I will totally link his channel in the description below. That's our GPL season 2.5. I had a fun season, kind of. Well, I had fun playing. Don't get me wrong, but just like I think I had a really good team, but there was definitely like some flaws to it. Very flying at Ghost Week and knockoff Chrome, but yeah, and then lost some unfortunate games on some rolls and some crits and some misses on this one, but yeah, just gonna bounce back and try to if next season happens, where bounce back and just wreck house, hopefully. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely make sure to check out Polish. He makes really cool content. He's in a couple leagues too. He is the host of the SSL league. So make sure to check him out. He's a pretty funny dude. So yeah, I'll totally leave his link in the description. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. My name is Moody, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.